see you, Sonny. We have been trying to have this conversation for quite some time. I know you're an expert in this field of AI automation, AI software development, and I really would love to know the impact that this is having in my industry, which is the BPO industry. There's so many things that are happening. I've been living some of these changes right now, but I would like to get a little more of your take on it, on some of the changes. I think some things that come to mind is CX, workforce management, QA, coaching, operational efficiencies, maybe even added value that BPOs come up. But if we could start off, let's talk about CX.
Well, I know that we've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and I there's a lot that we can
Dig in.
yeah, there's a lot that we can discuss. At Arcitech, we built a lot of products that are disrupting various industries. We built a lot of AI automations that are automating anything from accounting, HR, a lot of backend operations, workflows. But there's a massive change that is affecting um, industries a lot faster, I believe, than anticipated earlier. BPO industry obviously is getting completely affected by it. As you said, you've lived some of these changes already, and some of these changes I would say most of the changes are yet to come. And then,
Still.
yeah, we can talk about some of the points that you mentioned. Customer experience.
Customer experience, yeah.
Today in call centers, or for the longest time, you call a call center if you want help with your flight booking or changes, product support if you buy something from a store, insurance, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, you have an agent that takes care of the
You
issue.
usually go through this entire dial pad, press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this. Then you wait for an agent to come online. There's a little bit of a wait time there, some longer.
Right.
Yeah. And then you talk to an agent. Some of the agents are from your country, but most of the time they're agents from other countries.
That's right. You have accent issues.
And things like that. So I think the first thing that's going to get affected, and which is already happening, is a lot of the level 1 issues.
Wow.
So the level 1 callers, I don't see that there would be a press 1, press 2, press 3. There might be, but I feel like it's not required anymore with the new automated agents that are not human beings.
Okay.
You call will be answered. You talk about whatever your problem is, and instantly that automated AI agent will be able to assist you with whatever it is that you need.
No waiting times.
No waiting times at all. Right? So that's on the calling side. Now, if we look at the chat side, if you use WhatsApp, text messaging, you'll be able to just chat with the company. It's not a human being that's responding to you. It's a chatbot that's responding, but a very smart AI chatbot that understands exactly what you need, has almost all of the answers to any kind of query that you can think of, any kind of technical support issue that you can think of, probably even with pictures in real time saying, okay, you need help, something as small as how to set up a sleep timer in a TV that you bought.
Correct.
Might be a little challenging for someone that's not tech savvy, even though it might be easy to you and me, might be a little challenging. Well, that person should have the ability to, I buy something, instantly I connect with someone that'll walk me through this entire process, not get fatigued because I may take a lot longer to understand it, and stay on the call as long as I need to, or chat with me as long as I need to, and answer all of my questions.
Yeah, it's incredible because what I think through as I've been in the industry for more than 15 years, and as you onboard new agents, there is a transition period that they have to learn a product.
Yep.
Right. And most likely, I was an agent myself, and when I learned a product, the first thing I did is I raised my hand, and somebody came in to assist. But how you're explaining this is like the assistant is already there, so you're reducing waiting times. Reducing AHT, which is average handle time, right? how I foresee this also is that if AI is taking this work, that means that more of the complex work is going to be reassigned to a human. Is that what you're how you're seeing it as well?
I believe that a lot of the level one calls, yes, will be handled by AI agents, and as the escalation to your level two or the more complex um, things that where you need a human being
Right.
to intervene. Um, I believe that's where the human being actually needs to intervene. It'll save companies a lot of money
Correct.
by doing this kind of setup. Um, but yeah,
And
I
I've
mean,
seen this, as I took calls at a bank,
mm,
and I used to provide customers balances, very simple stuff. And throughout these 15 years, the complexity of those calls have changed because, again, AI and even chatbots have taken more of that, simple work.
yeah.
So it does give um, nuance of how we are preparing, how we are developing our personnel to learn that this shift is coming. It's coming no matter what.
It's beyond the point of no return. It's not something that's here to. It, it's not the new flavor of the month anymore, a flavor of the week.
Right.
Um, AI is here. It's changing industries. It's happening fast. So yeah, the shift is coming, and the best thing to do is prepare for it.
Now let's talk about quality assurance. I think quality assurance is a big topic in the BPOs because through quality we ensure clients that their calls are being taken care of,
Yeah.
right? And compliance, we're making sure we're aligning into regulations, things that we should do, right? We should always maintain. And what is your thought on this? How's
What is the
QA?
current what is the current industry standard on or average of how many calls are monitored?
Well, it's sampling. You contractually would probably go anywhere from maybe two tops 5% of the calls
Okay.
that are being sampled,
So you need a human being to actually listen to the calls
of
after
course.
they're done or while the calls are being done, take notes,
Correct.
and provide some kind of report to the client.
Correct.
Um,
And to
of,
the agent too, so
and
they
to
can
the agent,
improve.
yes, and feedback to the agent of what they're doing well, what they're not doing well,
Correct.
intervene if needed,
Yeah.
and provide that report to the client. So, because you literally cannot, you can, but it would be a massive expense to have one quality assurance listen
Agent.
per agent. It's just not something that is done. That's why you have 5% or 2% to 5% max as the industry standard. With AI, we're already working on a product that does 100% of listening,
Wow.
100%. And it's much more accurate. It's in real time. It's listening to the call. It's providing analytics that the client can access to see what went well on that call, what didn't go well on that call. To the agent, it provides what they did well, what they could have done better.
Hmm.
Even while they're doing the call, they'll have pop-ups on their screen of say this or say
Wow.
this or say this to navigate that call better for
Hmm.
that customer. This has never been done before. This is the first time that something like this is coming into existence.
It's
So
revolutionary.
yes, so imagine the agent can get to their calls much faster, more accurately,
Hmm.
provide feedback of that single call or all of the calls together to a client. So clients have advanced analytics
Right, right, right.
in their dashboard of what improvements can they do in their business,
Right.
right? To improve the quality of the call as well as the quality of service that that business is providing to their customers.
Wow, if I get this right, then it's kind of you're basically not having any blind side or blind spots
Yep.
when it comes down to monitoring up to 100% of all calls, right?
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
me, as a business leader, it would give me full insight of what really is happening throughout my business and how do I provide my clients the best service,
Yeah.
right? If there was an issue, a lot of times we have issues where we don't really know the root cause.
Yeah.
Because of our sampling, the sample size is too small.
Yeah.
So with tools like this, we could be able to provide full insight, whether it's a real customer deficiency, or is it a product issue? Is it a policy issue that we can share that back to our client and say, hey, we're missing here because your policy is wrong.
Yeah.
And we have the data to provide our clients.
Yeah.
So it's very insightful, very, very insightful
Yeah.
how it's going to revolutionize.
And the other thing is, now that we have these analytics, think of the training for the agent. We know exactly what each agent is doing well at, as well as what they need work in. So
It's a proficiency.
yeah. So you can take that information, plug it into a tool like ProSchool.ai,
Wow.
and instantly create a course or a training for the program, again, done by AI, that can upskill them in real time.
Looking at, it's tied to coaching versus once a week type of coaching, once every 2 weeks that you can basically have real time.
Well, you could do it even between calls. So it'd be listening to the call, providing feedback, connected to this. The system will tell them, work on this, or give them a questionnaire that they can work on, just to keep them up to date with what they're supposed to say on that call, what are the company policies, what things that they need to cover. So
Right.
It's fresh in their mind, and it's tracking, are they actually doing it or not, and generating a quick like a test or a quiz instantly for them to do after the call, or once a day, once every 2 days, whatever the BPO decides
Right.
to be best for them.
Wow, it's incredible how it's changing it. What about, is it something that could be preventive? What else can you share more about what QA, from a QA perspective, AI, how is it impacting you?
From QA perspective, if you look at some calls that should have been escalated,
Okay.
maybe something is going wrong. Maybe the customer is very rude, or maybe the agent is very rude,
Right.
or maybe no one's rude, and agent is not understanding what the customer's needs are.
Okay.
Happens sometimes,
Right.
right? AI will detect this. The AI software will detect this in real time and raise a flag, an alert to the manager,
Right.
saying that this call needs attention and this is why.
Wow.
Fast, while that call is happening.
How many times have I gotten escalations from client that, hey, this agent took a bad call, and you're looking it back, but if you're saying that now you can prevent it from happening, where you could have an intervention, I mean, that's life changing. That's business changing, because you could really redirect your customer service positively.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
It's massive. I mean, it's one of the there's good and bad, obviously, in this. AI is going to add a lot of positives, and again, there's a negative side as well to this, because there's a massive workforce that's employed by BPOs,
which is raising some concerns at at many scales, right?
Yeah.
Is it coming to replace? I know there's in many industries regulations that still stop you from integrating a voice agent, but I foresee that as the years go on, these things are probably going to be more flexible. Right? As companies are still looking for some type of cost reduction, but I believe that customer service, the fidelity of a client, should be at the top of their priority. Another thing that's very dear to me is workforce management, being very involved in making sure that the business, or for our clients, we have the right amount of agents at the right time, right? It's always been a challenge. Workforce management has always been kind of reactive. And what's your take right now on how is AI assisting or helping companies have the right people at the right time?
Well, having the right people at the right time, for that, we've actually built a recruitment solution called Hire.ai, which does, for BPO, thousands of people work there. So and attrition in BPOs is generally high.
Right.
So there's constant hiring that needs to be done. So you need an entire team, a massive team, just constantly doing screening, interviews, hirings. But this software that we built does all of that. It's called Hire.ai. It does everything from the screening of resumes to the actual interviews, AI avatar-led interviews. So just like you and me are talking,
Okay.
there's an avatar that's taking the interviews, even giving them assessment, like quick quizzes and tests, written assessments, and then either shortlists or rejects that candidate.
One of the toughest thing that BPOs go through is the selection process. When it comes down to the selection process, there's a lot of workforce that needs to be placed in the recruiting, calling and calling and calling. So what you're saying is that your platform is helping through the process to vet the ones that go, the candidates that are shortlisted. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, because even if you have a team of, let's say, 50 people that is doing the recruitment,
Okay.
There's only so many interviews that can be done.
Right.
And let's say 500 people are applying for this. It'll take them time to do these interviews.
Correct.
What happens first is, they're not only applying to your BPO, they're probably applying to 10 other ones.
100%.
Whoever gets to the best candidates first gets the best candidates.
Correct.
So we've reduced that wait time a lot. As soon as they hit apply and upload their resume, their interview starts.
Mm-hmm.
So this can screen all 500 at the same time, interview all 500 at the same time, and decide who's going to be shortlisted or rejected for the next round with the management.
Okay. Okay.
So a software like this can get the best workforce in. The people that don't get selected will then have the option to upskill themselves and maybe come back at a later time.
Right. Wow. Wow.
And understand why they didn't get selected with in-depth analysis of why they didn't get selected for something, which again didn't exist before, but because we have AI tools today, we're able to help those people as well.
So I wanted to piggyback on a question regarding workforce and how is this impacting the job market? Should people be scared?
So this is one of the most common questions I get asked.
Okay.
And the answer is, yes, there will be a massive impact. There'll be a major shift in jobs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, even though we're building these great AI systems that should help people, the impact of that is also that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Like we said before, this is beyond the point of stopping. So if there was something to stop it from happening, then we could look at that. But there's no stopping it. It's beyond the point of stopping it. AI is integrated in almost everything that any technology that you use today. Your phones have it. Every software is being integrated with AI. A lot of the business processes are being integrated with the AI. So what we know is we're not stopping it. And what we know is, since we can't stop it, that it will impact jobs. But we've seen these kind of shifts before.
Okay.
Right. Every time there's a major change in the way technology is being used, from the internet to computers, we've seen a workforce shift.
Correct.
Happening. Major shift. Right. I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and we were talking about the entertainment industry, how there's a major shift from workforce behind the scenes in productions to, if AI movies are generated, where are they going to go? Well, they'll go right back to performing live.
And we
behind
see
the
some of
scenes.
these changes
Yeah.
right now,
So-
even in the music industry, right?
We see it in the music industry. So we take that. Before, people sold CDs, sold
Right.
cassettes to make most of their money. Singers did that. And concert tickets were cheap. Why? Because most of their revenue came from selling CDs.
Correct.
But when YouTube came in and anybody can access a song anytime they want to and didn't have to pay for that anymore, well, that revenue shifted to major live performances again. So you see ticket prices jump up to $100, $200, $1,000.
Too expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive. But there was a shift in the workforce. They went from working in the music industry behind the scenes and creating those CDs and those productions to live productions. I see the similar kind of thing happening here.
Okay.
Right now, there are a lot of callers, and unfortunately, those callers are going to get affected. But it's not tractors that took the jobs of farmers. It's the farmers that learned how to use tractors that replaced farmers that didn't learn how to use those. So if all of the level one callers or all of the people in the industry today are not upskilling themselves,
That's the key point.
then their job is at risk.
Okay.
They need to upskill themselves. And if that means, we know what all the problems are today. And in fact, you mentioned some of them. There's language, accent, there's communication, how to handle situations in the call very easily for customers, customer satisfaction. So if they start upskilling themselves in all of this, then they can move to that level 2 escalation position.
Correct.
Which could mean more money for them as well than they're getting right now. So upskilling is one way to protect themselves. They can also move behind the scenes in the training of these AI models.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's an entire workforce that's going to be created. New jobs are going to be created in this. So
Of course.
they already have the skills of calling. Now they can apply for other, maybe higher paying jobs. So I don't think it would just be that people are going to lose their jobs and that's it. The people that work on upskilling themselves will get redistributed in either the AI side of it or the higher level, the level 2 side, level 3
complex.
sides. Yeah,
More complex work.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Interesting stuff. I have a topic, that I'm very keen to it. As you know, I'm a data scientist, and I've done sentiment analysis projects in the past. Tell me, can AI really detect sentiment?
So yes, AI can detect sentiment.
Okay.
It can understand the tone.
Wow.
It can understand if somebody's angry, if somebody's happy, satisfied, depending on words they're saying also.
Right.
Like, thank you, or I'm frustrated that I'm not getting the answers that I'm looking for. Or just if their tone has changed in that call.
So can you now, through this analysis, predict agent frustration or maybe an agent maybe wants to quit through to measuring their stress, measuring their tone now?
So it's interesting that you said that because Amazon,
Okay.
I don't know if you knew this, Amazon can predict when a woman is pregnant before even she knows that she's pregnant.
Wow.
Right? And this has been done for years, by the way. This is not something new. And the way that they do that is they've taken all of the women that were pregnant and analyzed all the products that they were buying.
Okay.
Right? So they know who pregnant women are now. And then they backtracked to their order history and saw what kind of things were they buying.
Wow.
Before they actually bought the baby products and
Right.
and all
The
that
shift
after
in
the
behavior.
birth. Yeah. So the women that gave birth, right? So before they bought all those baby products, they went back and said, what did they buy during the pregnancy? And what did they buy in the early stages of their pregnancy? And based on that, they knew that if women were buying those kind of products, or men, it could be men also, women and men
Interesting.
were buying those kind of products, there's a high chance that either that woman or somebody in that family is pregnant. So they'll start showing ads for those baby products and the things that they're likely to buy.
Wow. That's really
It's a little scary that that Amazon can predict when a woman is pregnant before even they can. But a lot of the companies use these kind of prediction models or prediction algorithms to understand. Same thing here. If we can see when an agent is getting frustrated, about to quit, and quits, they can go back and analyze all of the calls that the agent has made before, collect that data, and look for the same kind of trends.
right. Which I think if you are able to do that, could you probably prevent the attrition?
You could save a job.
Wow.
You could save the company going through the process
Okay.
of the attrition, and you can save that person's job. You can reach out to them before.
Kind of trying to foresee it as, could I get, an alarm that, hey, this agent is, has a risk because they sound more stressed in a call. And, really, you could have an intervention that now the supervisor is being called, hey, what's going on?
Yes,
And that could save a job or a person, going through a really tough time or a rough patch in their lives.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
So there are a lot of positives. Yeah. So I mean, before we were talking about the jobs, yes, there's some negatives to it, but there are a lot of positives that can help the entire workforce, help individuals, if used
Amazing.
correctly and implemented and integrated into the company.
So I was meaning to ask you, we've been talking a lot about, traditional on-site call centers. What about virtual call centers? How is that changing with all these AI agents? What's going on there?
Well, with virtual call centers, there's two different kinds.
Okay.
One where you don't need the traditional brick and mortar call center anymore that can house thousands of agents. It could just be somebody with a cell phone, that can log into the call center software and be able to start making the calls or receiving calls. Uh, so you don't get into things like hiring employees on your payroll anymore. They could be work from home independent contractors that can work anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Right? So that, I believe, is already that's already in place. But adding AI to that, having things like alerts and that AI assistant that every caller will have access to during the calls, even in their ear maybe or on the phone,
Mhm.
providing them guidance on how to handle that call will help those virtual call centers that have those kind of challenges.
Correct.
When they come to an office or brick and mortar place, they are able to have things like training rooms and infrastructure put in place for training, upskilling.
Correct.
But with these AI tools now, they'll have access to all of this on their phone. So it could definitely improve the quality while reducing the major overheads that businesses have of the physical infrastructure
Right.
of running a call center.
What about just removing humans?
Eventually, I think virtual call centers will head that direction. Again, I feel like it's inevitable. All of the level one callers, as these conversational AI agents become more and more advanced and become more human like and are able to have very natural conversations with the caller or the people that they're calling, then we will see that the human beings are going to be reduced there and eventually probably lead to not having any human beings or just a very few for those very technical escalation calls. Everybody, all the other level one calls will be answered by AI agents, right? So eventually I do see it shifting there. Again, that'll affect the entire workforce, but I feel like other opportunities may be created because of these AI tools, like the sales, maybe doing online sales or doing sales over the call.
Very, very insightful. Could be also related to a lot of agents that are interpreters that go through uh, a process of interpreting for doctors, for physicians, and you have now three participants in a conversation. What do you see there?
Three participants in a
Or more, maybe.
conversation or more is possible. I actually see that it might happen the other way around, where it might reduce the participants. It'll just be a doctor
Mhm.
and it'll be a patient. So, what you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the question is, um, how would it affect the translator in calls where a doctor or someone that speaks one language or somebody else? It doesn't have to be a doctor, it could be a doctor, a lawyer, it
Correct.
could be anybody.
Okay.
where somebody speaks one language, the other person speaks another language, and they would have a human interpreter instead of using some translation tools because the human might be able to express it better, capture the sentiments, the emotions,
Correct.
right?
Okay.
I feel like that is already being done more efficiently because of the AI tools, translation tools.
Correct.
But eventually, you don't even need that interpreter anymore because that conversational AI will get so advanced and in multiple languages that anybody can call a doctor. A doctor can talk in real time. I think it's going to get so advanced, or as the conversational AI is getting more and more advanced, I believe it'll just be a caller speaking to the doctor, and the doctor is speaking in their language, caller is speaking in their language, and it's translated in real time. The caller will hear the language that they speak, and the doctor will hear the language they speak, or a lawyer or anybody else
Correct.
for this matter. So I think we won't have borders anymore for these callers, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Right? Doctor can be sitting somewhere else. Maybe it's too expensive for me to afford medical assistance or advice. Get medical advice from a doctor sitting in my country. It might be cheaper somewhere else. So I'll connect and I don't have to worry about the language barrier anymore.
Incredible. Wow.
So there'll be this massive shift and borders will break down a little bit more, which may be better.
Talk to me about governance. A lot of people are going to question, is all this data protected? How, what's companies doing to protect the data?
This is an important question. Data governance, data security, privacy, compliances are very, very important.
Yeah.
So all of the products that we are building, we have a checklist depending on the industry that we're working in. If it's medicine, do we need to be HIPAA compliant? If it's education, do we need to be COPPA compliant? And plus all of the other compliances that go along with it. Data is definitely important. The way that we design and build the systems are that the data stays enclosed within that company's data infrastructure or cloud infrastructure, and is not being used to train LLMs,
Okay.
the open source models. That's important. There are multiple security layers that are put into place to ensure that that data is not leaked. It has to be done in the right way. A lot of companies don't know how to do this in the right way, which could lead to data leaks,
Data breaches.
data breaches. So that's very important.
Interesting.
There are ways to make sure that we secure that data. Can data be leaked even with all of that? Absolutely. I mean, the best hackers in the world can get into anything. But what our job is to do is ensure that there are enough layers
To protect.
to protect it. And most hacking happens because of human error.
Right.
So if we know what those human errors are and we put additional security steps in place to ensure that that is not easily possible. Someone doesn't download something that they're supposed to that could lead to a data breach.
Okay.
So yeah, that's very, very, very important. Probably one of the most important things today.
One thing that you were mentioning earlier, and it's probably connected to a couple of topics you were mentioning before, is the development of an agent that now you're saying is real time. Do they now have an AI assistant? What's going on now there? Are agents having now an assistant that can provide them support while they're on a call now?
Yeah, every agent will have their own AI assistant that understands all of their information, company's information, client information, their information, that acts as an extension of them. So while they're on the call, it can raise alerts, give them tips to talk about things that may have been missed. We're humans, we'll miss certain things. Not everybody's perfect, right? So it'll give them tips, things to discuss while they're on the call, which can definitely improve the quality of the call overall.
picture this that basically you have your assistant 100% of the time, and if this assistant is probably hearing the interaction, right? So it's probably suggesting how to do a process much faster. So the agent is, sir, I remember when I took calls and I didn't know a process and I had to search into a searching engine, for example. If the AI is listening to a call, it could probably pop up this process, and why instead of taking 5 minutes on a call, it could take 4 minutes now. Now we're talking about revenue.
Yep.
Now we're talking about labor to revenue. You need less resources, more efficient.
Yep.
That's probably going to help call centers as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'll definitely speed up the call. It could speed up the call in most cases. The key points that should be covered are going to be addressed and popped up as alerts in case they're missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely going to increase the revenue or increase the profit, I should say, of the call centers.
Correct. Trying to picture this AI assistant could probably even give you hints on it's converting a scripted agent. A lot of times, what agents are, they're reading scripts.
Yep.
But now, if this assistant is providing ways of how to have a better interaction, I'm assuming that it would probably even tell them if a customer is escalating, how to even manage that escalation.
Yeah, manage that escalation, and maybe some of these calls don't need to be escalated.
Right.
Again, based on trends, how many customers' calls were escalated, and what type of resolutions did the level 2 manager provide?
Okay.
Well, then, if we know that, then the level 1 caller themselves can say, this is what I can give.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I can offer this to this customer. Even with script, almost lines that they can follow up. What did the level 2 managers do? What kind of things that they offer to resolve this? And this is exactly what you should say. So we can reduce that escalation as well.
Wow. That's really interesting. Awesome.
So this is where I see it going. Now, a lot of these systems are not in place, but they're in development right now. Like I said, we're building one of these systems currently for call centers. It'll probably be available over the next, in 2026,
Mm-hmm.
early to mid 2026, with a lot of the features that we just discussed. So because we're working on it, I'm sure 1,000 other companies are working on it as well. So we're going to see a major shift happening in 2026, leading into 2027, much bigger. I think we haven't even seen 5% of what these changes could look like.
Wow.
So it's a very interesting time that we're living in.
How BPOs could become a better partner with their vendors, as they're not just a vendor of headcount, but now they could be a vendor of sales, of intelligence, right? That maybe could shift the pricing model. That could shift, and I'm not charging you just for a headcount, but now I'm charging you for real insights.
Well, I think it's a win-win situation for clients as well as the BPOs, because now it's not just, okay, there are a bunch of these calls that need to be either answered or made, not inbound or just outbound, but as you just mentioned, we become partners or an extension of your business. The BPO, with all of these tools, can confidently go to a client and say, we'll either do your sales for you. We're confident enough to do those sales for you and take a percentage of that.
Wow.
Which doesn't mean the client is going to lose any money. It actually means they're going to make a lot more sales. So it's a win-win for both. The BPO makes more money, client makes more money, or performance-based calling.
Okay.
Performance-based commissions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you only pay us if we're making those sales. Why would I take that risk if I'm a BPO? Because I know I have a big group of callers, a workforce of callers that are trained, that have all of these tools, And I'm confident that maybe I'll start with 5 of my callers to see if we're able to do some sales for you. That's a risk that I can take. I won't charge you anything for each one of these callers.
Mhm.
I'll only charge a percentage of that sale that we make for you.
It's a hand-in-hand type of partnership, if you really think of it that way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. So presents a big opportunity for the BPO as well as the client. Now, if I'm a small scale entrepreneur that's launching a product, I might have 500 people that can sell my product. Maybe my product is good. I don't have to go out and hire a big sales team. I don't have to hire any sales team.
Reality, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just partner with a BPO that believes that they can sell my product,
Mhm.
and they can mean massive revenue for me as an entrepreneur and the BPO because they have all of these tools. Completely lowers their risk. In fact, the BPO can even run a risk analysis with the AI tools and see, should I even get into selling this product or not before I risk it with 5 of my callers.
Oh, wow, it makes sense. Wow. Trying to envision how this would happen, how it would roll out in terms of, you know, AI being able to detect, hey, this is a high conversion client, and
Yeah.
say, hey, now these are the rebuttals. This is this, right?
And as we know, both of you and I come from sales.
Right.
That's our background. We've been doing sales for the last 20 years. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I would still like to believe that AI is not going to take over the complete sales process. Maybe some of it, I know that. But the real sales are done when we understand and are able to sell that experience to our customers.
Correct.
Right. If what I said with the new opportunity of selling for BPOs,
Mhm.
if that happens, then maybe there might be a workforce that gets affected by some people losing their jobs there because you don't need as many people answering those customer service calls anymore.
Okay.
But if they upskill themselves to sales, then they can join the selling part of it, which are new jobs that are going to be created
Correct.
because of these AI tools, which could mean more commissions for the BPO, more commissions for the salespeople, and ultimately end up making a lot more money for them than they are in the customer service inbound calls. Yes, there will be a massive shift in workforce, but it could be for the positive.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wow. So if I can get this right, we could come to a conclusion of what this whole shift in how it could benefit a BPO. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
How could benefit, like in general?
Yeah,
a
general.
BPO?
So what's the, those BPOs that do adapt appropriately the tools of AI, how do you foresee themselves differentiating themselves from other BPOs that don't?
I feel like the ones that don't are definitely going to get affected. They'll definitely get left behind. Without a doubt, I 100% believe that. So we'll see some BPOs that shut down. The ones that are integrating it, and we know that there's some BPOs that are trying
Correct.
the right first step.
Right.
Try it out, see what happens. And what we do know for sure is that AI will be integrated into BPOs. We know that for sure. So if we know that for sure, then if I was a BPO owner or the management in a BPO, I know that I need to start integrating these products today so I'm not left behind. And we try to stay as ahead of this as we can, even though it might be challenging. Changing the way that an entire workforce works is one of the most difficult things to handle. So I would put a change management plan in place,
Right.
understanding what are all of the issues and the pushbacks that I would get from my team and start addressing those
Correct.
right away. And just start somewhere, wherever it is. Just start integrating these AI products somewhere um, before it's too late, because the catching up might be more difficult than adding on to what you already have.
Right. Yeah, I guess sponsorship is going to be crucial from high up in an organization to be able to deploy these these strategies as people adapt, as people get acquainted, because obviously there is some pushback, I believe, of organizations or even humans trying, adapting the tools, right? Because they have that negative nuance, like this is taking my job, right? So, could you, elaborate a little bit more?
All the time. We see this in almost because we build a lot of software products, and these are software products that are integrated into their core operations of companies. It requires training and changing the way that you're used to doing things for years.
Wow.
And without a good change management plan in place, even the best of products will fail. So it
Because
needs
they need to see the benefit of it, right?
they need to see the benefit of it. So the most successful implementations that we've done are with somebody from the management team of our clients, someone from their team. It could be 2, 3 people that manage that implementation, answer the questions, and kind of provide support to the employees, as well as 2 or 3 people in our team just for the support. We'll list down all of the issues that we anticipate could happen.
Okay.
People will push back. They don't want to learn. They will push back. We already know that. So if our team and their support team don't work to provide enough support every time somebody has an issue of using the product, then that implementation will fail.
Wow.
And it could look like maybe that the product is not working for us. Every product that you build will work. There might be tweaks to the product based on the feedback, which is very important. We need to also listen to the feedback of how the users are using it and make those changes very quickly. That feedback should be relayed to the support team on the client side, who then train their team and us providing support. If that happens properly, then they will just accelerate. And we've seen this many, many times where they just jump. If something took them 1 hour to do, they can finish it in seconds and minutes. If something took 10 days to do, there was a research in one of our clients, this law firm, this research, a part of it usually took days, weeks sometimes, because they need to go into code level of the area's municipality codes and understand what those codes are, see what the laws are, how the laws would affect it. Usually this entire process took days or weeks. We were able to do it for the client in minutes and then draft a response for our clients that they can use in court.
Incredible.
Right? But if the lawyers there said, I don't want to take the effort in learning how to prompt it to get the right information, because prompt engineering is very important with any AI tool, then they would have never seen the benefit of that and not implemented it, and they would have stayed stuck to that process that they had in place now of taking weeks to do the research. I think a strong change management plan, I know I explained a lot, but a strong change management plan from the company, assigning 2 or 3 people from their team, depending on how many people,
the organization.
how large the organization is, and some support from the implementation, the software company that is providing this implementation, working together, following that plan, is what will lead to a successful implementation of any product.
Makes sense. So in other words, if I could summarize our conversation, Sonny, is those BPOs that adopt the AI tools according to their business are the ones who are going to differentiate themselves positively versus the ones that don't. And those that are onboarding these tools to provide the best tools to their employees will have a better yield with the client. Could even change their pricing model, right? Because they're not just providing a headcount pricing model, but now they're providing a full insight of their business, right? You're basically partnering.
Yep.
No?
They could provide much better customer support to their customers. Their services could become cheaper,
Right.
right? They can add more value, most importantly, to their customers,
Exactly.
right? They'll add way more value, and if they're in competition with other BPOs that are trying to get the same services, at the end of the day, it's going to come to which BPO is adding the most value.
Exactly.
And with these tools, they're now able to provide more services for less and much better services.
Wow.
Uh, and giving customers, most importantly, the access to view in real time what is happening, because we provide, they'll have advanced analytic dashboards
Hmm.
that they've never had before, which will improve their business.
I'm glad we were able to have this conversation, Sonny, because I got to get a lot of insight of what's happening in the industry, what's AI doing. Really, really appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to see where your industry leads to and how they implement these changes.
AI, man, it's going to differentiate top VPOs versus the ones that probably in very little time die down.
Yeah, absolutely.